What's up, Netrunners? Welcome to PeachHack. My name is Ben, and today I am joined by Anthony. How you doing, Anthony?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. We are at the Wasteland Store Championships, February 8th, 2015 in Duluth, Georgia. And this is our first store championship where Order and Chaos is legal, so I'm really excited to bring this to you.
It's an Order and Chaos world now.
Indeed, the world has changed. On the left, we have Eliot in this round one game playing as Blue Sun, who can pick up a rezzed asset or upgrade or piece of ice and retrieve its res cost at the beginning of his turn. And on the right, we have Holly, who is running as Quetzal, who can break a barrier subroutine for free once per turn. Now, I'll go ahead and say Holly is a big fan of Quetzal. She has been playing Quetzal for ages. And it's really resounded with her as a runner. She's a really interesting runner in general.
Yeah, and I think it's great that she's kind of found something that she identifies with that's not necessarily like the typical Tier 1 decks.
Sure. And I think that's really important in Netrunner is finding a deck that resounds with you, especially if you spend a lot of time building it. You've kind of put your heart into it.
Yeah.
It's your deck. It's an expression of yourself in the game, and I think it's a really cool aspect of these games.
What are we seeing there? It looks like a oversight AI?
It looks like an oversight AI, yeah. Talking about the game itself, we see an ice over HQ and R&D, and Eliot does this thing where he reverses the order of HQ and R&D. And Holly runs R&D and sees an oversight AI and puts down a leprechaun.
Wow.
Which is a funky inclusion.
Yeah.
It's quite a lot of influence, but it looks like she's going to be installing some big programs that she needs MU for.
Is that 3 influence?
I can't remember off the top of my head, but it is influence in general.
Right. It's an interesting ad.
I'll be definitely interested to see how she uses it. And we do see Oversight AI on a curtain wall.
And that's not on Archives. That is on
Archives.
Oh, that is on Archives. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
He puts R&D toward his remote servers.
Gotcha.
Oh, well. it's the same thing.
Right.
Yes. Now, something you often see in Quetzal is well, let's back up and see. We've got Eater and Data Folding. Data Folding, a really interesting new resource that gets you 1 credit per turn if you have 2 unused MU. And that Leprechaun is going to keep those MU unused.
I was working with Data Folding in a Sageosaurus deck, and once it gets going, it can be a daily cast that never stops.
Sure.
But Yeah, a daily cast that never stops if you have 2 out, but just the three cost to get it going. You don't get your money back right away.
Now, it looks like Quetzal did not have an E3, so she wasn't able to break that curtain wall for $2, which is always fun if a Blue Sun has oversighted it.
Yeah.
Instead, I guess Holly is just drawing and looking for some answers. Well, she's pretty low on credits at this point. Eater is going to at least let her pretty safely face check ice as long as she has the credits to break it. Though with Blue Sun at 20 credits, there's a lot of scary things that can res.
Yeah, and with her at 3, she's probably not going to run for a moment.
Yep. Well, she does have part of her rig out. Now, as I remember it, I believe she had built this deck as something of an ice destruction deck. We do see the Parasite that she had discarded because of too big of a hand size.
Right.
So I'm sure we're probably going to be seeing some cutlery events, the knife, spoon, forked, coming pretty soon. But Eliot does create a remote server and put something inside of it. What could it be?
And at 3 credits, he could try to push out an agenda because maybe he thinks that she is low on credits and her only breaker is Eater, so she wouldn't be able to get into that server anyway.
Sure. I mean, if it's just a simple end the one, even end the run, even like a quandary, that'll keep her out because she has to break it to get in.
And is it an agenda?
Ooh, Superior Cyberwalls. Interesting. Which is kind of funny against Quetzal.
Yeah. You get a bonus 1 strength, and it doesn't really matter for one subroutine.
Sure. It matters if there's, a couple of barriers in a row.
Yeah.
It looks like Holly was over hand size, discarding a Wanton Destruction, and a Spoon.
Huh.
Some fun events from Order and Chaos that unfortunately she doesn't able to use this time. But Data Folding, I believe by this time, has paid itself back. So it's good to get that early.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think about just firing off a spooned or knifed on an unresed server?
Unres, I don't know, but we do have the prepaid voice pads. That's going to help a lot with those events. On an unresed server, I feel like if it's not, especially if it's only one piece of ice, I'm not sure if it's a great idea. You fired off a spoon on a single piece of ice, then they res a sentry, and it's useless. You want to be sure you're getting the most value out of those cutlery events. But those prepaids are going to help her with those events immensely, especially if she's low on credits. And Eliot installing into that remote server and advancing it.
He still thinks it's safe.
He's advanced once. Or is that twice? I think. Oh, yeah, it was just once, and then he took back the credit.
It's a Gemmy advancement token.
Yeah. Use high contrast dice, everybody, please. Holly just digging some more. Drawing 2 cards. Bit in rough shape right now.
Yeah.
She has 2 prepaids, so she can get a sure gamble for a bunch of money. Instead, she opts to run HQ.
Yeah, sure.
Oop.
And there goes the money.
Well, there's a toll booth. Well, can't break that. And lose $3. But, well, I guess Eliot can bring it back, which is nice because you're Blue Sun.
And I think that puts him at an advantage because he could just put it right back in, and then he could shuffle up his hand and put something else out.
Sure, but actually something's interesting here. If that is an agenda in that remote, if Eliot picks up the toll booth and he has to advance it 3 more times to score it, then he won't have a chance to put the toll booth back.
That's a good point.
Now, he probably will wait. I mean, he's got money. He can advance out right now.
There's no reason to bring that back to his hand.
Exactly. He's got money. So he opts to mandatory draw instead. Will he advance it, though? Is this an agenda?
Triple advance?
Oh, he just takes money.
Just takes
Interesting. I guess he's feeling okay with that toll booth there. Because if that wasn't an agenda he was going to score, then he could have gotten money for it. But we shall see.
I mean, the minute I see a 1 advanced card, I just automatically think it's NAPD.
NAPD is a pretty safe guess. There's some other ones out there, some 4-for-2s that people will still play. I've seen some people playing Corporate War, believe it or not. Yeah.
That's where you get 7 credits if you have 7
yes, you get
credits?
If you have 7 credits when you score it, then you get 7 more credits.
But if you don't, then you lose all your money.
You lose all your money. Which is... I mean, you're never going to score it when you have fewer than 7 credits unless it's going to win you the game. But another possibility might be Grendel Refinery. Just something like it's kind of a win-win, right? You install it and advance it, and you bait them into an expensive run, and then it turns out to be not an agenda. If they don't run it, then you get a bunch of money with you score it and res next time.
If I'm Holly, I'm trying to think about what's my best line right here.
Sure. I mean, what you really want as Holly right now is econ, so that you can put some kind of pressure on the corp, because the rig hasn't really been built. It looks like she's digging really hard and having to throw out some important pieces of her game plan. We see a fork in the trash as well. And
it's spending some time thinking about what she wants to do next year.
Yeah.
I think
it's Eliot's turn right now. But,
that makes more sense.
Ices up that server a bit more and takes money back. I'm really curious as to what that thing is that's advanced in that remote. I mean, he might be happy to just leave it there. I mean, maybe it's something like an aggressive secretary or something crazy like that. You don't really see a lot of advanceable traps in Wasteland because usually either it's shattered remains or they have to import it. Ooh, and a spoon on that toll booth. It'll cost her 7 total. The encounter for 3 and then 4 to break. But the toll booth is gone, and now free access to HQ.
Oh, you're not going to access? Oh, right, you either.
And yeah, she can't access because she's eater. Ooh,
okay.
Count Siphon. Very nice.
That's a bummer. Okay, well.
Granted, it's against Wasteland, and
it's true. Are you going to float tags versus Wasteland? It'll bring him down to 8. You kind of always have to assume that Scorch is online against Wasteland, which is kind of a bummer, but it's, I suppose, one of the advantages of simply playing Wasteland.
Is you're just going to, that assumption is there.
As a runner, you're forced to play around around Scorch. Or traffic accident is now a thing
True.
now.
Looks like she shook her tags.
Yeah.
What I did was I lost a 6 and then added 1 total. It was a 661.
But that toll booth going away is, I think, a pretty big blow. I mean, that's some influence that is now useless because it's in the trash. It represents 8 credits that he could have gotten back at the beginning of a turn. He will plug the hole, though.
That makes sense.
Oh, and hedge fund will bring him back up to close to where he was pre-siphon.
I would rather that was a...
At this point, I would just wish that advanced card in the remote was an agenda. It just push it out, whatever it is. Because it just seems to be kind of taking up space in there.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a trap, then the advancement was the bait, and she didn't take the bait, so he's waiting probably until something worthwhile is putting in there, unless he wants to put in another trap.
Yeah.
More digging coming out for Holly. What is she looking for at this point? Ooh, a spinal modem. Spinal modem, I feel like is an underrated console.
I think so. I know some of the guys in our meta have talked about it, and they've said, from the beginning, this has been a very good console.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2 free credits a turn if you're using those credits on an icebreaker, right? I mean, sure, it has a downside of the trace giving you a brain damage. I feel like against Wayland, you're probably pretty safe. You want to beware of Caduceus, I suppose, but you have an Eater out there, right?
Right.
You've got
your Eater's really your safety net.
Yeah, Eater is your safety net in case you need to break some trace. I guess really the biggest worry when playing Spinal Modem, in my mind, is Ash.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you can't break it, and if they have a lot of money, then they'll win the trace. But
so Eliot here showed up. I think he installed another ice on HQ.
Taking some money back. Still no action in that remote. I really want to know what that is. I'm sure we'll find out sooner or later. Data folding, still putting in work.
It's now recovered its initial investment a while ago.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Too bad she didn't have a second one early. I feel like a single data folding, is pretty good. It takes a while to get back. 2 data foldings is a big investment, but it feels so much more powerful when you get 2 per turn.
Absolutely.
It feels really, really good when you get those out. And it is...
okay.
Ooh, okay. Well, backing up here. Face planning an Architect, and she is able to use Spinal Modem and a single credit to break it.
Forked is offline.
That's true. You're not trashing Architect with a Forked. Architect cannot be trashed. Ooh, and instead of accessing, she uses Utopia Shard. Since she broke Architect with Eater, she couldn't access anyway.
I really like that play. That's good stuff.
Very nice.
I will crab draw.
It's a great way to get around the no access limitation of
no access. I don't want an access. I want to put this down.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's a free 7 credits, and it's a really powerful ability. I've been seeing more and more of Utopia Shard. I think it's probably my favorite of the 3 shards.
Yeah, yeah.
It feels really good to do damage to the corp.
To me, I think it just kind of makes a little more sense. I think the one that makes the most sense is the shard that's related to archives.
The Hades Shard.
The Hades Shard.
That's a really good one too. It's probably my second favorite.
And I don't know. I forget the name for the R&D one.
Eden Shard. We do have a run on a new remote that Eliot created. It turns out to be Jackson Howard, and he retrieves some cards from archives.
Okay.
Jackson Howard saving the corp.
There's a lot of unknown information on this board.
Yeah, there's not very much res, just an Architect, and Ice Destruction isn't going to do much for you there. You're going to have to deal with it. But I mean, Holly has been pretty poor this whole game. I mean, the account siphon brought her up, and she immediately had to, shake the tags.
Yeah.
Wait, is she running a forked on?
That doesn't.
You can't do that. Well, I mean, you can, but it won't do anything. Does she really? Oh, wait, Eliot, no.
Let's wait.
Eliot, wait, no.
The Architect is forked protection.
Well, clearly this is a mistake by both players. So Architect can't be trashed. So a fork shouldn't do anything about it. But I think Eliot also forgot that Architect can't be trashed.
Maybe Eliot wanted to get rid of the Architect.
Maybe.
Maybe
Why?
that's what it
It's
maybe.
such a good card.
No.
Except for if you forget that I don't know.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Well, it happens.
That's right.
Anyway, installing something new into that remote. Ooh, and advancing to ice. Another fun addition from Order and Chaos is those advanceable space ice, cosmic ice, constellation, whatever you want to call them.
There's, I think it seems like it's been unsettled as to what the nickname of it will be.
Yeah, I mean, space ice is nice and easy. Ooh, it's an Adonis campaign. Great include in Blue Sun. Will she trash it? Because that's kind of you got to trash the Adonis campaign, I think. In Blue Sun, it can be really good because you res and then pull it right back up for basically a free, free 3 credits.
It's the Beanstalk Blue Sun.
It's the shenanigan Blue Sun, if you ask me. But other than the Superior Cyber Walls, we haven't seen a lot of agenda action. At this point, well, okay, he had a Jackson, so I imagine Eliot might have been ditching agendas into archives. But if not, I would imagine that HQ is pretty full of agendas at this point.
And the other thing is, by not having res dice, he's actually only down to 5. He's down to 5 credits right now.
Ooh, this is actually a really big opportunity, I suppose, for Holly.
Maybe just run all over the place and get him to get down even lower.
Exactly, like whatever that advanced thing is down there, you can check it. Or maybe you're going to want to put some pressure on R&D.
I think that would be the line I'd want to take.
Yeah. I think it's a great opportunity here. But she does only have 6 credits. Ooh,
okay.
Keyhole. Will she put any pressure? Yep. Keyhole run. Does he have anything to res? She has the 2 spinal modems and
Quetzal's,
the 2 credits.
and Quetzal's ability.
And Quetzal. She is Quetzal. She hasn't been able to use it yet. Free access to R&D.
Whoa!
A free keyhole.
Okay.
The best kind of keyhole.
You, sir, must shuffle your deck.
Either keyhole proving to be a very powerful combo post-Order and Chaos. A lot of people were really excited about the potential of these 2 cards together with Eater coming out. And into Archives goes a Curtain Wall.
Makes sense.
So a bit of a whiff, but you don't want the Corp to have a Curtain Wall if they have an Oversight AI, because that represents a free 13 credits.
If I get a keyhole lock on, sometimes I think, do I just want to get rid of money cards, or do I just want to start dumping ice in there? Obviously, agendas is my primary objective, but
absolutely,
if you whiff, you can kind of start shooting for some consistency of what you're going to put in there, and deny them other cards that they're going to need.
All right, so she was able to get 1 keyhole off. It was maybe not as productive as she wanted to, but I'm sure Curtain Wall is something that she doesn't want the Corp to have anyway, so could be productive.
Yeah.
Now up to 7 credits on the Corp's behalf. Holly's up to 3 credits from data folding, or 4 credits, excuse me. Well, so at this point, I think probably putting pressure and forcing him to res is a decent idea. Instead, she's just drawing cards.
And maybe he just lined up R&D with barriers, and I don't know.
I mean, a lot of times when you're facing Quetzal, you just kind of forget that that Quetzal is a card. And you're like, haha, Ice Wall. You have to break with... oh, wait, no.
No, never mind. You just go ahead. I'll let you go on through.
I mean, maybe it's like double Ice Wall. Actually, double Ice Wall would be pretty good because you burn Quetzal's ability, and then you have to...
But Spinal Mode takes care of the other part.
Well, but it's Eater, though. Because okay, if you're Keyhole, then who cares, right?
Yeah, that's right.
If it's a normal run, then it's good. Ooh, advances that card out there. Oh, it's a reverse that counts.
Okay.
Oh, very interesting. So that was an advanceable trap. So I think it already had 2 advancements on it, so up to 4 advancements means that Holly will lose all of her money.
And now this is a scoring window if I've ever seen one.
Oh, yeah. 5 credits to 0 credits. Now, Holly does have the data folding and the prepaid. She's able to get a sure gamble. Would be nice.
Well, and actually, I kind of want to back up on that, because even if he does install advance, then he's down to 3 credits.
True.
So it kind of feels like a scoring window, but it really isn't.
Mm-hmm. And just taking money. It's true. Doing runs would force ice res, or make him see if he even bother resing ice, right?
Well, and think about this too. He scored severe cyber walls.
True.
Which means he might be running a barrier heavy.
He's probably running a lot of barriers. Yeah. I mean, what could be over R&D? I mean, he had 5 credits and he couldn't stop a keyhole, right?
Or chose not to res.
Or he chose not to res. Presumably, he chose not to res because it wouldn't do anything, right? I mean, so it's either, I imagine, probably ice walls or maybe even like just big expensive stuff like cold blaze or curtain wall.
Oh, this is okay.
Day job with 2 prepaids is going to net her 10 credits for her whole turn. But that is after an install and advance.
Right, so it's a tempo loss for all that money.
Sure, and could this be giving away an agenda to the Corp? I mean, you probably couldn't get in there anyway, just because your only breaker is Eater at this point.
And
I think he was just taking money. Still, I mean, it could be another reverse to council, right? Do you want to? Can you even do anything about it? Is the question, I suppose.
So,
another keyhole run. There was again with 11 credits. He just decides not to do anything. Ooh.
And Holly laughs. You don't need this, do you?
No
Blue
oversight
Sun?
AI to you, for you. Yeah, it's always fun sniping those from Blue Sun because it feels terrible to let them have those free credits and something like that.
Oh, it's awful.
Yep. And she's going back in, I think. Or no, she's running archives. Well, I don't think she hasn't keyholed away any agendas yet, I don't think.
No.
There might be agendas in there that Eliot has dumped. Oh, instead of accessing, she gets the Hades
she
shard.
pulls a Hades shard. She has all the shards.
Ooh, the double shard. Very, very nice.
That's fantastic.
Another keyhole.
So
no
she could pop her Utopia fragment, or Utopia shard,
yeah.
and then do the Hades shard.
Yeah. Ooh, and there's an NDPD that she got out of a keyhole run. Yeah, Utopia and Hades is a really powerful combo.
I've never seen that. Well done, Holly. Well done.
Nicely done. I'm sure we'll
if she
see
uses
that.
it, I hope she uses that. I hope that's her plan.
I would have to think so. I mean, it's the two of them are sitting right there. It's so good. And I think she has one more click left. She's keyholed. She's run archive. She's keyholed. And she keyholes one more time. Will she get anything good? Ooh, superior cyber walls. So 2 agendas.
Do you think he's letting these go? I mean, because he's planning maybe a punitive?
It's hard to say. Like, we haven't really seen much out of Blue Sun yet. It's reverse accounts is okay. She is popping Utopia fragment or Utopia shard. So here it goes. Maybe she can get even more. I mean, this could be game, right?
From Utopia to Hades. What's our timestamp at? That'll let us know.
Shh! Don't make him.
Don't look at the timestamp.
It's a spoiler.
That's right.
Okay, so she's immediately gonna pop Hades. So I think he
uses a Jackson.
Well, the thing is though that it's the runner's turn right now. So the runner can activate as many paid abilities as they want before the Corp can activate their paid abilities.
Correct.
So Holly can activate Utopia Shard and then Hades Shard before the Corp has a chance to res.
It seems like that's what they're talking about right now.
Yeah, and I think they're getting a judge to clarify. It looks like they get it clarified. So he can't pop Jackson, and Holly is able to access archives, and there's nothing that Eliot can do about it.
Let's see here.
Nothing there.
And it looked like I think I saw an off the grid in there. So I wonder if this is like a Crisium grid off the grid type deck. And Holly gets those 3 points with the Utopia Hades combo with Keyhole. Very nice.
Triple advance.
Oh, and we do have a corporate war coming out for Eliot. And so that'll bring him up for...
Eliot plays that agenda, and he plays it well.
There you go. Well, so they go back and forth between gaining some agendas here. Tit for tat. So how is...
There's the other data fooling.
Okay, there we go. Question, though, is how is Holly going to close this out? Or how are either of them going to close it
Yeah,
out? I mean, it seems like...
At 15 credits, Eliot's going to feel a lot more secure.
Yeah, Eliot, I'm sure, is pretty secure in this remote server. Probably pretty convinced that Holly is going to be forced to use Eater if she wants to break any of those ice.
And maybe her plan is just Keyhole City.
That's a completely viable option.
I can only imagine that's how this is going to work.
Yeah. And by the way, it happened a while ago, but the Keyhole and Eater are hosted on Leprechaun, and that is what is keeping the data foldings alive. So that's been the plan the whole time, is what that Leprechaun was for. An interesting usage, but it works. And Spinal Modem also adding an extra MU just in case.
Okay.
Ooh, and we do see an oversighted curtain wall. So that was a curtain wall out there.
Now she could Eater this and break all the subroutines.
Sure. It would cost her 10, I believe, because to break all but one of the subroutines and then use her Quetzal ability to break the last one. Instead, she decides to day job.
Okay. So you have your money, I'll take my money.
Yep.
Oh, I'm not going to pull. Oh, there we go.
To the surprise of no one.
You don't leave that hanging out there.
And 28 credits for Eliot. It's nice when you have a giant pile of dice on your card.
Are you a dice user?
I'm not. I use tokens.
I like tokens, too.
I like tokens. I like the ability to move stuff around instead of decreasing in one place and increasing in another.
Yeah.
But
we actually both use those. The
minion tokens?
Yeah. I like the sound, too.
They feel really good. I know a lot of people find them hard to read, which
Yeah.
is why I'm very careful about the way I position them on my mat so that to make them as easy to read as possible. But, okay, I was about to say, the weakness here for Eliot was still R&D, and he says to set him up a bit more. And now that he has the money to res the curtain wall, he might hard res it.
He's got money, tons of unresed ice.
And, yeah, I can't... Ooh, and then an upgrade into R&D.
Shutting down... That's probably Crisium Grid.
I would have to imagine it's Crisium Grid. Having seen Off the Grid earlier, then, yeah, Crisium Grid sounds like a reasonable option here. So, yeah, it looks like Eliot is putting himself back in this game and icing up that scoring server even more. This could be a little rough. But, Holly is up to 22 credits herself now.
She's going to check it out.
Ooh, and she's going to force him to res.
No res.
No res on the first ice.
Pay $1.
And reses an ice wall, which is going to be no problem for Quetzal.
Nom, nom, nom.
Maybe another ice wall.
I'll spend $4.
Ooh, and it's a guard. Oh, and it can't be bypassed. Interesting. I wonder, okay, so that makes sense, I suppose, in like a off-the-grid type situation. You try to inside job the last server.
Right.
That deep into the server, I suppose it might not make sense, but she isn't going to be able to get through this. She can eat her.
But that wouldn't...
Ooh, and now she has a fork, though. She can eat through the ice wall and the guard and destroy the guard with the forked. And then she'll have more free reign to that server.
Unless that first one is an architect.
Because that'll work.
$1 billion on a curtain.
Oh, he spends all the money on a curtain wall.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what could be interesting here is I wonder if there's also a curtain wall over R&D. Well, he can still res Crisium Grid. It's only 3. But she could make a normal run on R&D, like run R&D like a regular person.
Well, she's already used her her Quetzal ability's already been spent,
Sure.
I assume. I didn't see her take a credit down for... I may have missed it.
Yeah, she used it on Ice Wall in the first run.
Okay, yeah.
Now, will Eliot pull back that curtain wall? I mean, it's a lot of money, and it's tough being at only 6 credits.
If it's a three advanced agenda, I would.
Yeah, if that is... Ooh, a knife. She's gonna kill it. So, with all her money, she's gonna be able to break the curtain wall.
I like this play.
Yeah. Deny those 14 credits to the corp.
And then even if he advances 3 times, what
Yeah,
we have is a situation where, again, he's low on money.
Yeah. Ideal.
I will quick draw. For my 0th click, I will subliminal
And, we do have some little messaging.
Okay.
It's a little bit late, but it still works.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he is pretty low on credits now. That doesn't have that curtain wall. Yeah, I think that was a great move. Really big denial for the Corp. And it was a Project Atlas.
Yeah.
So he managed to save that agenda and is up at 5 points. But that scoring server is much weaker now.
And it would have been nice to have those 14 credits to just have on hand.
So what is the game plan at this point? I would expect that Holly has probably some same old things. Because the only way she's getting into that scoring server is if she forks it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unless she has a Mimic or something like that, which would be surprising.
Seems like this is her rig.
Yeah, it feels like she is set up, and she's not going to be more set up than this.
Which I think is great, because how she has Eater and Ice Destruction.
Ooh, pulls a priority requisition out of HQ, breaking the ice wall with Quetzal. Your barriers mean nothing to me. Ooh, and there is the same old thing.
So, Account Siphon is on online again.
It's true, but he's only at 3 credits. I wonder. So 3 credits. I mean, is enough to res Crisium Grid, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she could do it like a keyhole run or a normal run on R&D, forcing him to spend that money on stuff. Like, I doubt he could res both of those pieces of ice and the Crisium Grid, right? Unless they're pop-ups. Just weird. All right, yeah, and 4 credits. I wonder. I would be very tempted to make a regular run on R&D here, to trash the Crisium Grid.
Mm.
Oh, same old thing. Looks like I think Account Siphon. Or no, she is I think breaking with Eater and not using her Quetzal ability, so she can save it later.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. And now he is at 0 credits. And now, so that Crisium Grid can't be res, so that looks like she's shaking tags. So yeah, same old thing, Account Siphon, and then shake tags.
Mm-hmm.
But that puts Blue Sun in a really bad place here.
Bring the guard back in for 4? I mean, that time has already come and gone, but
yeah,
I don't know. If I'm Eliot, I'm not feeling like I have a remote that's
right
safe.
Yeah, I think pulling back the guard might have been a decent idea because you know that she has same old thing. She gets same old thing forked, and that's going to be her game plan to get into that remote server.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's certainly not feeling safe installing things there.
Yeah.
I wonder. Ooh,
okay.
Instruction. Ooh.
Order and chaos.
And she's going to be able to break through that. And I think this is her first click, right? So
it really is fun seeing these new cards.
Yeah. Such good art, too.
Mm-hmm.
And removes 3 mystery cards from his hand. Now, he does still have that Jackson Howard on the table that we saw that he tried to use before.
That's correct.
And I don't think she's Hades sharding anytime soon because it's in her heap. Unless she can, like, Deja Vu it back or Levy it back or something.
I think that was kind of a one-shot.
Yeah. It was a great shot.
Absolutely.
Got up to 3 points. So, at 3 credits for Blue Sun, what can he kind of do here? I mean,
well, the one thing that's keeping me, if I'm Eliot, I'm kind of thinking I have Crisium Grid, so like that's us. I mean, it's going to be Crisium Grid. I can only imagine that's what it is.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Crisium Grid, does that just turn Keyhole into a normal access, right?
Well,
that if the run is successful instead of accessing, so the run is either considered successful or unsuccessful, so it's just normal access.
But if you used Eater to get on the way in,
it's true. If you use Eater, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But if he was only at 3 credits, right? Mm-hmm. So he could only have res Crisium Grid, which means no ice could have been res.
Correct.
Unless it was pop up, which would be crazy.
And he's oversighting.
Ooh, a toll booth. So trash that useless ice wall. So that's going to get him some money back, but he has at 1 credit, and that Crisium Grid is offline. He cannot res it. So I would imagine now is the time to keyhole. Keyhole to victory. You have a lot of money. She will check archives first. Jackson gets popped.
You know, I think that's a good play.
Oh, absolutely. Get
Jackson
out
off
of
the
way.
table. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And then keyhole to your heart's content. That is, I think, is a great idea. Agreed. Very nicely done. So he is bringing back some mystery cards. Oversight. 2 oversights. Because he's pretty low on money. I think it's a decent idea.
You get to see 2 Chrysiums and a guard.
And yeah, 2 Chrysium grids and a guard are left in archives. We know where the third is. Now, that was her first click, I believe. Right?
That is correct.
So I can imagine that we're going to see some keyholing in our very near future.
Are you? Do you also use the click counters, the track?
The click trackers?
Click trackers? Oh, that's right, because you have your own developed
Yeah,
one.
I have my own little clicker thing that I built. It's fancy and weird, but she's running HQ. Oh, they're both agendas at hand. And yeah, that'll be it.
Okay.
Holly takes game 1 of round 1 of the Wasteland Store Championship.
Once Holly got going, because we were kind of like, what is this? This is kind of a weird, setup. But I mean, once she started taking over, it really kind of snowballed.
Yeah, it took a while to get set up, but she was able to do some really good moves to deny the corp credits. Killing that curtain wall with knife, I think, was a great move.
That was a great choice.
Yeah, absolutely. And
using the shards.
The shards, also another great move. So well played to Holly. Congratulations on that. In that first win of Order and Chaos Store Championship season.
Let's see what happens in Game 2, shall we?
Yeah, we are going to be moving on to Game 2 shortly. Anthony, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah.
I hope to do this some more.
All right. And thanks for watching, everyone. This is PeachHack logging off.